Days of Our Lives, September 18. Salem needs more law and order ASAP. Paulina has talked about it, but she needs to get Jada help sooner rather than later. On Days of Our Lives, Connie and her crimes have kept Salem's law enforcement guessing for a while. In the Wednesday, September 18 episode, her spree moved to the secret rooms in the Demera mansion. Jada investigated Connie's apartment and headed to the hospital to download Rafe. Meanwhile, Roman headed to the Demeras to find Gavi. Unfortunately, he missed a big clue. This whole storyline has shown us that this town needs more cops, a viable district attorney's office, and a mayor who sticks to her decisions. Thanks to Connie's, Julie Dove, who talks about Connie's twisted scheme here, machinations, the police department has missed the mark on who to target. Previously, they arrested and jailed Gabby, Sherry Jimenez, for murdering Lee Shin, Remington Hoffman. Then they thought it was Clyde's, James Reed, goon who killed him. Plus, before Connie killed him, the police treated Everett Bobby, Blake Barris, as the main suspect in Rafe's, Galen Gearing, stabbing. Gone are the days when multiple characters populated the police department. Currently, the only major character wielding a badge is Jada, Elia Cantu, the temporary acting commissioner and lead detective. She's good at her job but handles everything by herself. Plus, she's supporting a recovering Rafe now that he's out of his coma. And she's handling Sarah's, Lindsay Godfrey, hit and run. This is too much for one person, and Harris hasn't been around for months. The police department needs to staff up. Salem DA. As for Salem's district attorney, it's been a revolving door of two people, E.J. Demera, Dan Fuerigal, and Melinda Trask, Tina Huang. Honestly, they are both problematic options for the position. E.J. uses his DA status to suit his whims. He railroaded Tate, Jamie Martin Mann/Leo Howard, and worked up an immunity deal for Stephen, Brandon Barish. He's easily leveraged or blackmailed, and has no problem taking revenge using his role as DA. Melinda is not much better. Meanwhile, in Wednesday's episode, Paulina, Jackie Harry, tried to fire E.J. for the information Stephen gave her on E.J.'s helping keep Jude's Oliver McClarty paternity a secret. We guess Stephen wanted E.J. arrested for what his brother did, but E.J. said it himself. Everybody has known about this information and nothing came of it. It was an odd revenge attempt that didn't work, but it did make Paulina look bad for one. Listening to Stephen 2. Having no real evidence backing up Stephen's claims, and 3. Backing down from firing E.J. It's time to staff up the DA's office with neutral, unswayable prospects. Obviously, nothing happens ASAP on day S. But, eventually we'd love it if Sean, Brandon Beamer, and Belle, Martha Madison, returned. They could easily slip in as another cop, and Belle could be the new DA. If not her, how about Carrie, Christy Clark, or a brand new character with no alliances in town? If it's someone new, they couldn't be swayed or blackmailed easily. EJ's better at Demera anyway, and Kristen, Stacey Haydock, could use the competition. In the far-off future, Bo, Peter Reckel, and Hope Christian Alfonso are set to return. Hopefully, Bo will recover and be raring to go by then. They could be a force on the police force again. Or they can join Black Patch. They are people of action after all. Or bring Theo, Cameron Johnson, back. He can be the police department's tech-savvy person. Or maybe Tate decides he wants to be a cop post-high school. Something. In the quaint yet tumultuous town of Salem, the air crackled with tension as the sun set on September 18. The usual vibrant streets, lined with cafes and shops, felt eerily quiet, as if the town itself was holding its breath. Whispers of scandal and intrigue buzzed from corner to corner, each alley hiding secrets darker than the last. The residents, each with their own struggles and triumphs, navigated the chaos with a mix of resilience and desperation. At the heart of this whirlwind was the recently reinstated police chief, Rafe Hernandez. Rafe stood at his office window, looking out over the town he had sworn to protect. The weight of his badge felt heavier than ever. Crime was on the rise, and the absence of law and order was palpable. Just that morning, he'd received reports of thefts, bar brawls, and a mysterious arson that had left the old Horton Town Square in smoldering ruins. Salem needed a solution, and it needed one fast. Across town at the Brady pub, the usual hustle and bustle was interrupted by an urgent meeting of the town's leading citizens. Among them were Jennifer Devereaux, ever the voice of reason, and her husband Jack. They sat at a table strewn with papers detailing recent criminal activities. "We can't let this continue," Jennifer urged, her brow furrowed with concern. "Our community is at stake." Jack nodded, his eyes scanning the room. "We need to rally the townspeople, perhaps a town hall meeting? If we can unite everyone, we can bring attention to the police force's struggles." Meanwhile, at the DeMera mansion, chaos reigned as Stephen DeMera plotted his next move. With his latest scheme involving the takeover of a local business, he reveled in the turmoil he was creating. His sister Gabby walked in, her expression a mix of annoyance and disbelief. "Stephen, do you even care about the mess you're making in this town? It's spiraling out of control." Stephen smirked, adjusting his cufflinks. "Power comes from chaos, Gabby. Besides, who needs law and order when you can create your own?" Back at the pub, tensions were rising. A group of citizens gathered, voices growing louder as they discussed the rampant crime. "We can't trust the police to keep us safe anymore," one woman shouted, while another added, "What are they doing about the arson? We need answers." Just then, Paulina Price entered, her commanding presence silencing the crowd. "Listen up, everyone. We need to band together. If we stand divided, we'll fall. Let's not let fear dictate our lives." Her words resonated, reigniting hope in the hearts of the residents. They agreed to organize a community watch, but it wouldn't be enough without the support of law enforcement. As the night deepened, Rafe met with his trusted colleague, Hope Brady. They sat in the dimly lit precinct, surrounded by files of ongoing cases. "We can't keep up with the surge of crime," Rafe admitted, running a hand through his hair. "What do we do?" Hope leaned forward, her gaze intense. "We need to think outside the box. What if we enlisted the help of the community? They know the streets better than we do. Let's create a task force." Rafe considered this. A community task force? It might just work. Together, they began drafting a plan to bring residents and police together to restore peace in Salem. Meanwhile, at the Kyriakis mansion, Victor Kyriakis was watching the news. Reports of crime in Salem had reached an all-time high, and he was not pleased. "This is unacceptable," he grumbled to his grandson, Alex. "I've built my empire here. I won't have it tarnished by chaos." Alex raised an eyebrow. "What do you want to do about it? We can't control every aspect of the town." Victor smirked, a glint of mischief in his eyes. "Perhaps it's time we reminded Salem who truly runs things around here." Back at the Brady pub, the town hall meeting was in full swing. Citizens rallied around the idea of a task force, and as Jennifer took the stage, her voice rang clear. "We need to take back our town. Let's form a group dedicated to assisting our police department and ensuring that everyone in Salem feels safe again." As the crowd erupted in applause, a shadowy figure watched from the back of the room. It was none other than Clyde Weston, who had recently returned to Salem, his motives unclear. He grinned, knowing that chaos was exactly what he thrived on. "Let's see how this plays out," he muttered to himself, his eyes glinting with mischief. In the following days, Salem buzzed with a renewed sense of purpose. Rafe and Hope held community meetings, enlisting volunteers for the task force. Citizens shared their experiences, offering insight into the criminal activities plaguing the town. Old rivalries were set aside as people from different walks of life united for a common cause.